Hi, I'm Daniel Springs 367 Studios. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to set up your hookah. Now, I have two hookahs here. I have my little two-host pumpkin hookah. I also have my nice big Egyptian hookah. Today I'll be showing you how to set up the small two-host pumpkin hookah. Okay, you may be asking yourself, what are all these pieces? Okay, this is called the bowl. You have the hose that flips into the side. We can take the bowl off and go ahead and disassemble the actual main part of the hookah from the base, like so. Now, I like to take the base and throw it in the freezer to make it really cold, and then that'll give off a colder, smoother smoke. Okay, now let's talk about bowls. First of all, we have this small bowl here that came with my little pumpkin hookah. Now you can put in between 10 and 15 grams of shisha or tobacco or the herbal that you smoke. Now this is just a cheap bowl here that I picked up for a replacement bowl for my Egyptian hookah. This one you can put about 15 grams in it. Now I have this vortex bowl. The vortex bowl actually doesn't have the holes in the bottom. It has the holes in this little, what I like to call a volcano. They're in the sides as opposed to in the bottom like these. And you're not drawing your flavor straight down into the water. You're not wasting all your molasses. Alright, now let's get to the setup. Alright, now first of all I like to set up everything on a metal baking dish like this. It keeps down on the mess. Alright, now the first thing I do is I set up my bowl. After I throw my base in the freezer for a couple of hours, I like to put my tobacco in the bowl first. Now I'm starting out with Alpha Cur, Alpha Ocker, however you want to say it. Now I have melon, fruit cocktail, and watermelon. Watermelon is really good. It tastes kind of like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Now we'll go ahead and load up full of the watermelon. Now basically I take all of my tobacco out of the foil packaging and I put it into the container here. Cuts down on the mess. You can also put this into the refrigerator and it makes the molasses thicker so it's not really runny. Also it preserves the tobacco a little bit and it gives off a little bit less harsh of a smoke. But we're just going to go ahead and load up the bowl. Just take some and drop it in. And we'll work it in here in a second. And don't be afraid to put a good amount in here. With a 15-gram bowl like this, smoking just by yourself, like I do, you can smoke for about an hour and a half on it. Alright, let's see what we've got. Essentially, I have taken it and I've put it in the bowl like so. Now, what we're going to do after we take it and put it in the bowl, we're going to take some aluminum foil and place over the top of the bowl. What I like to do is I like to take a nice big piece like this, rip it into halves, and then place one part over the bowl. Make sure I get it nice and tight. And I always put the shiny side down because there's a shiny side and a dull side. And I put the shiny side down to heat the tobacco, not the charcoal. Charcoal heats itself. And then what we're going to do is we're going to poke some holes. I like to use a sculpting pick, and I will simply just go over the top, make sure it's nice and flat, and then I like to poke about 12 holes in the top. Now I like to do this little triangular pattern. I don't know if you can see it. I've got 4 triangles, kind of like in a Chinese checkers position. Alright, now moving on from loading the bowl, we can go ahead and talk about charcoal. This is the same brand charcoal as I have tobacco. The tobacco is actually called shisha. This is Alpha Cur, Alpha, however you want to say it. But they're these little self-igniting discs. Now, I go ahead and I throw these on my hot plate or on my range top. I'll show you. Alright. Here they are on the range, and I'll just flip the range over on high, and I'll let those things bake up. And that's only going to take a couple minutes. And while that's happening, we can move on to the base that's in the freezer. Alright. Now, I take my base out of the freezer, and then I set it down, and I also grab handfuls of ice cubes. You only need a handful because I've got sort of a small base. If I had a larger base, I could put more ice cubes. Now this helps keep the smoke cool, keeps the water cooler longer, and my charcoals are now starting to cook. Now, I also have some cheap wine. My friends buy this wine in a box. If they don't like it, they give it to me, and this just enhances the flavor of the tobacco. You can just put a couple tablespoons in there. Alright, and moving along. I've put some wine in the base, if you can see that. And then I'm going to go ahead and not quite half of the bowl, or not quite half the base, but we're going to put about half of the base full of water and wine mixture. Now if you can see that. Alright. And now you can take the remaining stem and put it down in your hookah. And then we're going to take the bowl and put the bowl on top of that. Now, if you want to see how these coals look, I get them nice and hot. And then what I do is I wait until they start to actually have a flame light. And then I flip them over. Now these are self-igniting, so they've got chemicals in them. Whenever I do this, what I'm doing is I'm burning off those chemicals, so you don't taste those chemicals. That's all I hear about with these self-igniting charcoals. Everybody online says, if you want to taste chemicals, then, get yourself some self-igniting charcoals. Now, I haven't tried anything except for some olive wood natural charcoal. Now, that was good, but I can't get it anymore. The local retail shop doesn't sell it. He doesn't keep it in stock, but he keeps these quick lights in stock. Now, if you want to get some really good coal, go online. You can find some coal anywhere. All right. Now we're going to wrap up this tutorial with me demonstrating how to get your hookah started smoking. All right. What I've done is I've just placed the charcoal on top. You can see that. Now I do have a 2-hose hookah, so if you can see this right here, that's another stem for another hose. What I like to do is I like to take this little eraser topper, and you can get them anywhere, and I just like to stick it in this hole and kind of just press it in there until it's got a nice little snug fit in there. And then I go straight to smoking. Sorry, I'm just now recovering from the flu, and normally you won't cough, but that's basically how I set up my hookah. And again, I'm Daniel Springs with 367 Studios, and thanks for watching.